Mrs. Newmeyer back here with our week 11, and today we are going to be adding a face to our bodies. Now, you're going to get to draw your own face, however you would like to do it. If you want to make it look like you can color the eyes, draw those in and color them the color of your eyes, draw your mouth and your nose and your hair, and you can make it look like you. And while we're doing that, we're going to talk about the different senses that we have. Now, one of our pieces of memory work a few weeks ago were what are the 5 main senses, right? Do you remember? Sight, hearing, taste, smell, touch. Those are our 5 senses. So let's talk about those. Let's start with our sight. Now, we talked a lot about our eyes in our hands-on science projects, didn't we? Our eyes are what helps us see. We can see all the different things. We can see near, we can see far. We learned about our lenses, how they adjust when we're looking. And then our brain sends signals to our brain to tell us what we see. Now, when we take those images in, they're actually upside down on the back of our retina, and our brain flips them right side up so that we can see our world as it is. It's amazing. Now, when you're drawing your face, remember to draw your eyebrows because they are part of what protects our eyes. So we have our skull, we have the bones that surround our eyes to help protect them. And we've got the eyebrows that sit above and help prevent things from like sweat dripping down into our eyes. And we have our eyelids and our eyelashes to keep dust from entering our eyes. Another thing we have are tear ducts that help drain the dust and get any little pieces of dirt or anything like that might enter our eye, help clear them out. And that's also when we cry, our tear ducts, our tears come out of our ducts, and they kind of produce like a salty fluid. Helps keep them clean. Now, here's a cool picture. It shows the muscles in our eyes. We've got muscles attached to our eyes that help us move side to side and help us blink, open, and close our eyes. Those muscles help us do all of that. And here is a cool picture of the parts of our eyes nice and close up. Now, if you remember, our pupils, we talked about when we talked about the eyes, they can change size depending on the amount of light that is entering. So if you go outside on a really bright day, our pupils will shrink up because they don't need to let as much light in. And on a dark night, like maybe even if you have a cat, you can see it too when they come inside after it's been really dark. Your pupils are really big to let as much light in as possible. There, our pupils changed colors. Now, here's some pictures of some irises, and that's the part of our eye that has color to it. Look at those, all those different colors. So you can color in on your face. What color eyes do you have? Our next sense we're going to talk about is our hearing. Now, there's all kinds of sound waves that are coming our direction, which we also talked about during our hands-on science project, right? These sound waves are coming into our ears, and that's how we hear the things around us. It goes through our outer ear, which is the part we can see, to the inner ear. Another thing we also talked about when we were doing our spinning project is the little hairs that are inside of our ear that have the fluid that help detect where we are and are we still moving and when we have stopped. And we have 2 ears so that we can detect where the sound is coming from. Remember in our project when it was right here in the midline, we couldn't quite tell where it was coming from because it was right in the middle. But if we have a sound over here, or we hear those sound waves coming in the ear, we can hear them really well, and then a little bit less so on the other side. So we can tell that the object that we're hearing is over here. And so this is our ears. Next is our taste. So we've done sight, hearing. Now we're going to do taste. And we can taste using our tongue. Our tongue has taste buds around it where we can taste different types of things. We can taste bitter, sour, salty, sweet. I'll show you here another picture that shows the different parts of our tongue that can taste these different parts. So different parts of our tongue have different sensors that can detect those types of tastes. Amazing. We're also going to talk about our nose, which is where we smell. We can detect, it says up to 10,000 different types of smells. So you can smell different things. And sometimes, even if we close our eyes and we taste something, we can tell what it is because our tongue and our nose can work together. We can smell it and taste it without even seeing it. We can taste what it is, right? Even if we don't know what the object is. Our nose also has little hairs inside of it that help protect things that are coming at us, coming through, that are in the air, and can stop it from getting into our system, into our respiratory system. So our nose is wonderful at filtering out those things in the air. Now for our last sense that we're talking about. So we did sight, hearing, taste, smell. Which one do we have left? Touch. So we have these receptors on our body that send messages off to our brain that say what we are sensing. Look at the nervous system here all throughout our body. We have nerves that run throughout our body and help us sense what we are feeling. Like here they're saying, ooh, I touched this and it feels slimy, and it sends those messages to our brain to say that in fact is what we're feeling. And here she touched a rose thorn and says ouch, and sends those messages to our brain. Now our fingertips are particularly sensitive, and we can sense things really, really well with our fingertips, more so than we can have in other parts, right? Because the nerves are closer together in those areas, and so they're really sensitive. Our toes are sensitive, and so are our lips. Our heel, for example, is not as sensitive. So you might feel something with your toes that you can feel really particularly, but with your heel, maybe not quite as much, because it all depends on how many sensors are in those areas, and particularly with our hands. And that's why we love to pet a soft kitty or touch something and to really feel and get a sense for what it is, like a fabric, and can really feel the intricacies of those fabrics with our fingers more so than we can in other parts of our body. And so those are our 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Time to assemble the last body part. Now we made our faces. Here's what mine looks like. And we're going to just put a little bit of glue here right at the top of where the skull is, so that we were able to lift it up so we can still see the brain. So we'll put just a little bit of glue up there and put our face there. And so that you can have your face, and then you can flip it up, and when you want to see the brain. Now you have assembled the whole body and all the parts that we learned about. Enjoy looking at it, remembering, learning, and go ahead and research more about the different parts that you're interested in learning more about how they work. Now I want to close by reading us a psalm, one that just goes so well with this unit, the amazing things that we have learned about the human body, where we can just give all glory to God for how He has created us so unique, so special, and just what a privilege it is to be part of His kingdom here, right? All right, it comes from Psalm 139, verses 13 and 14. You created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Isn't that the truth? We are fearfully and wonderfully made. we'll continue learning and exploring. I've had such a great time with you, and I hope you've enjoyed this project, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.